Hi, what's up? Today's video is going to be a swatch and first impressions video on none other than the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette volume 2. I have not opened this box yet. I have been tracking this package like you would not believe. It took a little less, so it took 6 days. I was gonna say a little less than a week, and that would still be true. Anyways, this palette did not sell out, so I could have gone into Tampa and to their Morphe store and just picked it up, which is frustrating because I could have done it like the day of. In past launches with Jaclyn Hill, most things have sold out immediately. So I went online about an hour after it was launched. I wasn't panicking about it. I was just like, you know what? Like, let me go see if it's still there. I'll buy it. If not, I'm not gonna fret. And it, like I said, did not sell out. So I was able to get it and I had no problems ordering it. So we're opening the package together. I'm gonna give this to my dog Saint. I just realized that now we're gonna hear him tearing into that box the whole time. Oh well, I really want him to live his best life. Okay, so this is the palette here. Nice, shiny white packaging. Gorgeous picture of Jaclyn right here. So let's open this up. Now, I have used and loved quite a bit, as you may be able to see, the original Jaclyn palette. This is before they changed the packaging to like shininess, which I wish I would have one of those because it'd be a lot easier to clean. Like you could see, this is gross. And this looks like I eat like chicken wings and then grab this, and that's not the case. This is just wear and tear of makeup. But this is the palette, as you guys all know and I'm sure have seen. But I did use, like I haven't hit pan on anything in here, but this is one of my favorite palettes. Like I've used it a lot. I think the quality is very good, especially for the price. And so I kind of had to get this one. Like I wanted to have the volume 2. And when I saw the reveal of the colors inside, like I could not help myself. Okay, so I like this packaging better as far as, like I said, it has the shininess. It looks like it'd be easy to wipe off. Ooh, this is kind of raised a little bit. And I also like, I mean, no offense to her signature, like that's kind of what my signature looks like too. It's just that I like the sleekness of the printed all caps versus like her signature. I don't know. I just like this one better. So let's open it up. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. This is stunning. Absolutely stunning. I mean, to see it in person, guys, is so much better than seeing the images. Like the images online are gorgeous and definitely pretty enough that it made me want to buy this palette, obviously, but seeing them untouched and like perfect right in front of me, I'm seriously like, my breath is taken away. Like I know that's so dramatic, but that's my real reaction. Like I cannot believe how gorgeous this is. And thankfully, like my camera and lighting setup shows these colors pretty true to what they actually look like. It definitely has a lot of pops and a lot of vibrance, especially when we go to like this row here. Hi, Saint. Like these two and then these 4 definitely make this palette look like, oh wow, and this one, oh wow, that's a really bright palette. But if you take all of those out, so that would be 7 shades, everything else, like this whole area here, even though there's this and there's this, these still look pretty wearable. Like this is like a watermelonish red, but somehow still looks kind of wearable versus bright and neon. This orange to me is like a wearable orange versus like a bright or neon. Even these here like seem, or at least this one seems wearable. Like I was hoping that would be the case. There are definitely these bright shades, but I still can see like some wearability. I mean, all these shades up here, but I think today I want to do a more wearable look, like something that is not neon, something that is not like purple in your face, because I want to see like how wearable I can make it, and hopefully that will help you guys too. First, we are going to swatch every shade in this palette. I want to see which shades excite me the most, and we're going to do that right now. Okay, so this is the first row, and we have Certified, which I really like. This is going to be a perfect shade for me to set the primer on my eyelid. It's not too stark white, it's more of like a creamy white. Then we have I'm In It, which I kind of want to see on the eyes, because right here, I'm not super excited about it. It has like a little bit of like iridescence to it, but to be honest, it's a little bit dry feeling. So I'm not feeling like a creaminess of like, oh wow, like look at that shade. But I've seen a lot of people apply this on their eyes and it looks stunning. So we'll see. Then we have Love Handles. We have Comfort Zone, Perfectionist, Ride or Diamonds, which hopefully you can kind of see it there, yeah. And then we have Thick Skin. Okay, so first impression, when I swatched Comfort Zone, I was excited. Like, I really like this shade. This is so pretty, but are you noticing what I'm noticing? And that is that these two shades and these two shades look so similar. They look pretty similar in the pan, but they look even more similar, at least on my skin. Thick Skin is supposed to be a little deeper than Comfort Zone, but it's not really looking that way. Maybe it would on the eyes, but these look almost the same. I do see a slight difference in tone between these, but it's so slight, I don't see the need to have both, and I've heard some other people say that, and I do agree. This Ride or Diamonds is a stunning shade. Like, it has micro fine silver glitters in it. When Jaclyn said in her reveal video that there were some pressed glitters, I was kind of like, come on. Like, I'm a little bit over pressed glitters. Like, I have the Tati palette. I really like it. You know what? I don't even know if I should say I really like it, because I don't get as much use out of it as I want to. And I could do a review of this if you guys want, but the pressed glitters are stunning. Like, they're so pretty, but I am a little bit weary of pressed glitters on your eyes. You're technically not supposed to put pressed glitters around your eyes, or at least most pressed glitters, but these in here are not like a traditional pressed glitter. This is an eyeshadow with glitter in it. So I don't know if in the reveal video I would have said there's pressed glitters, because number one, in a lot of cases that can turn people off, and I wouldn't want to do that in a video where I want people to buy my stuff. I don't know, other cases people love traditional pressed glitters, so I guess it depends on the person. I am personally happy to see that the pressed glitters in here are not really that, but more, like I said, a shadow that has micro particles of glitter in it. So anyways, I think that that's really, really pretty. It seems like it could be something that you want to use like a glitter glue with, which I'm not opposed to doing. There is some repeats here that I don't think we need. I'm not mad. I mean, I love the shades, and I can just dip into both of them or something like that. So I'm not upset, but it is kind of like, all right, probably didn't need the repeats. You guys get what I'm saying. Okay, we are gonna see a little bit of leftover from that glitter being swiped away, but let's go ahead with this next row. Okay, these are the swatches here. I just got like chills with this last shade. Do you see? Like, it's kind of like a duochrome. When I look at it like this, it looks like, oh, a bronze. But then when I hold it back, I see some pink reflex in there. I don't know if you guys can tell. That is so pretty. Literally, I have chills on my left side. That's so dramatic. Okay, so this one is No Joke, which does look like a pretty good yellow. Then we have the shade Talia, which looks pretty, but I'm not dying for, to be honest. Golds that are this yellow aren't my favorite thing. I mean, there's a place for them, but it's just not my ideal situation. Feeling Myself swatched so smoothly, and so did Homebody. Homebody's like me in a shade. Like, I love like anything this type of color, and both of them swatched really, really smoothly. Then we have some pressed glitters or like shimmer shades. So this one is Get Ready With Me. This one is Bougie. And this one, like I said, really wowed me. This is Drama Queen. I'm really intrigued by that one. This one, Get Ready With Me, is very pretty. It's a bronze with, again, micro fine silver glitters. And I want to do something really quick. That shade really reminds me on first swatch of a shade in the Thirsty palette by Jeffree Star. I want to swatch it next to this one called Plunge and see how similar it is. Okay, so this one is the Jeffree Star one. This one is Get Ready With Me from Jaclyn's palette. They're very similar. I think that this one from Jeffree's has more glitter in it and is a little bit more of a rich shade. But geez, aren't they so similar? Like, different enough, but still, did anyone else notice that, or did that come to mind when you were swatching this palette? Just for comparison, I want to swatch the Jeffree Star yellow right next to the No Joke and see what quality looks like in a swatch at least. Okay, so they look similar again. I mean, yellow, you could argue, is yellow. This one from Jaclyn's looks a little more golden, which I actually like, whereas the one in the Jeffree palette is a little bit more bright, but there you have it. Don't you just love how this looks? Like, can I get a tattoo of swatches on my arm? Because I literally could just live like this and just like look at my arm all day long. Okay, so we're doing this third row, getting into some of the bright shades here. Doesn't this look like a summer dream? Like, I feel like I'm looking at, I don't know, like a fruit salad of some kind. Okay, so the first shade is Flawed and Odd. And as you can see there, it is a shimmer shade. Then we have G Money. Absolutely love the shade, knew I would. It's like a very warm brown, but it has like a pukey sense to it. Then we have Positivity, which looks very bright and neon in the pan, but on the swatch, it's a lot softer. Like, it's pigmented, but it's a lot more muted than it looks in the pan. Then we have My Man, which again is a little bit more muted, not as neon, but still pretty darn bright. Then we have Grateful, which looks like a really nice shade. However, I'm wondering how close this is in comparison to some of the shades in the first row, and we're gonna look at that in a second. Then there's that beautiful watermelon shade called Heart On, and Livin' My Best seems like a true pressed pigment. Like, there's some fallout here, but it is highly intense and pigmented. Hopefully it's showing up as red as it is. I mean, this is a true cherry red. Like, it should have been called cherry. This should have been called watermelon. That would have been very basic of a name selection, but they would fit for sure. So I really like this row. This shade, Flawed and Odd, impressed me more than I thought it would. I mean, I don't think it's like my favorite shade in the palette, but when I swatched it versus looking at it in the pan, I was like, oh, this actually is pretty. Like, I could actually end up liking that. So what I want to do now is take these off my arm, and I want to look at this shade, which is Grateful, compared to some of the other shades that we already swatched, and see how similar they are. Okay, so these are some shades that I thought were worth looking at up against each other. So the first one we have here is Comfort Zone. This is in the first row. Then I swatched Grateful, which is the shade in question that I just swatched from the third row. Then we have Thick Skin from the first row, and Homebody, just as a reference, from the second row. At least these three are pretty similar. Grateful is just a little bit more orangey. So it is different, I guess, enough from the other ones. But when I swatched this one at first, I was like, oh, okay, so the same shade that we already had. What do you guys think? Okay, let's go ahead to this second to last row here. Wow is the word that comes to mind. Okay, so I swatched this one, which is A Moment, and I was like, oh, damn. Then I swatched this one, which is Therapy Sesh, and the words that came out of my mouth were, oh my God. Look at how smooth and evenly pigmented that color is. I'm really into this color right now. Like, even in clothing, I keep seeing it pop up, and I'm so basic that I'm like, I want it too. But I really am impressed with this color. Then there's Lolly Mama, which is not my favorite color in the whole world, just in general, but it is very pigmented, very smooth, and so is Tipsy Girl. This is a pretty neon shade and looks, just again, evenly pigmented, smooth, really pretty. Then we have this really nice shade called Empowered. It's a little bit brighter than it looks in the pan, but I like it. Like, I like how it swatches better than how it looks in the pan. It has, like, it's kind of like a maroonish red with gold little micro glitters in it. So pretty. I know I'm moving my arm really weird. I want you to see the glitters. Hopefully you can. Then we have Next, which does look a little bit more muted on the swatch than in the pan, but it's still a pretty color, just not as rich as I was thinking it would be. And then Dance Party is like the most raspberry shade that I've ever seen in my life. This reminds me a lot of the Live in My Best cherry red shade as far as the formula. Like, this is a true like pressed pigment, need only a tiny bit. I can already tell, like, there's some fallout, but oh my God, is it like true pigment. So I really love this row. I'm very impressed, you guys. Like, we only have one row left. And I mean, of course, there's the question of how these shades are going to perform on the eyes. Swatching is pretty good indicator, I think, of like the quality of the shadows. Some people don't think that it is. I do think, yeah, of course, you have to try some shadows on your eyes too. You can't just swatch it and be like, oh, this is the best palette I've ever had. But so far, and like I said, we have one row left. I am so impressed with this palette, like really thoroughly impressed, excited about it. I can see me getting a lot of use out of it. Like, I'm sorry to give such a like glowing review and I haven't even tried any of the shadows on, but I am like excited. Like, I feel myself beaming about this palette. I'm so excited about it. And I haven't felt this way in a really long time, like about a palette or something like that. So I just love this giddy feeling that I get from makeup. And I can't wait to one day have $1 million so I can buy everything that I want. Okay, let's go ahead and do this last row. Okay guys, so we have the last row here, and some words that I said while swatching these shadows were Jesus Christ, oh my God, and holy shit. So let's go ahead and look at the shades. The first one is Stay True. Next is Not My Journey, which I've seen a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I've seen some people use this on camera and they said it was really, really good, which is great. Then we have Good Place. These three shades, like I like this one. These three shades are not shades that I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to put in my eyes, but they are very pretty. Then we have Paolo, which is really unique. Again, I kind of think it's not like blowing my mind as far as a color goes, just for my personal preferences in life, but it is a good quality looking shimmer shade. These three, whoa, like seriously, whoa. These seem to be, again, some of the pressed pigments in the palette. Just the way they swatch, they are so highly pigmented, so rich, and just like a lot. Like, you need such a little tiny touch of each of these. And so first we have Oh Hello, which is just like, I just can't get over like the intensity of the pigment. Then we have Crazy. Again, same story, just like such a rich berry burgundy. And then this black, which is Temptress, which does have a few little glitter particles in it. They're not extremely evident when you swatch it and probably won't be when you apply it on your eyes. Very impressive black. I really like this row. It's not my favorite row in the whole palette, but I'm glad it's there. And for the days that I'm like, oh, let me experiment a little bit and like use some more like purple shades. I mean, I definitely think I'll get use out of these three and this one. It's just these three, maybe the shimmer. The shimmer's pretty. I don't want you to think that I'm like, I hate it. It's just, you know what colors you like and which ones you're drawn to and which ones that you're like, yeah, I like it. I'm glad I have it, but also like, I'm not losing my mind because I'm gonna use it every day of my life. That's kind of how I feel. Okay, so those are all the swatches of this palette. As you can tell, I'm very impressed. I'm very excited. I'm excited to just have this, not only to do my makeup today, but just in general, just to have this to play with in my collection. I think that it will pair really nicely with the original, even though you could argue like, wow, there's a lot of transition shades between the two. I can see me pulling both of these out. Look how fun that looks. I can see me pulling both of these out to do several looks. I am more excited though about this palette right now, probably because it's new. I'm just happy to have it. I'm definitely happy that I bought it 100%. So let's go ahead and do a look. I have no clue what I'm doing. Let's just go ahead and get started. As you can tell, I already have a primer, which is a concealer on my eyelids, and I already set that with a face powder. I used the Fit Me powder, which is a little bit of a light shade. So that being said, I'm not going to set it necessarily with the shade Certified, that like white creamy shade, because I already have it set. We're just gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm going to start with the shade Perfectionist right here. Next, I'm going to go into this shade, which is Grateful. Okay, this could be a bad decision here, but I think I want to go in with the shade called Next, because I think I want to use this Drama Queen shade that I was so impressed with in the second row. And so I want to bring in a little bit of berry to kind of match up with the like pinkish berry tones in there. So we're going to try this out, and I could potentially absolutely hate this decision. So hopefully not. Wow, that shade is very pretty, very wearable, very pretty. I like it. Like I said, next I want to go in with the shade Drama Queen, which is second row. And I think ideally using your fingertip would probably be really nice, or a wet brush. I'm going to try to see first what the shade looks like on a dry brush, and then I'll probably try to manipulate it a little bit with my fingers. Here's the problem. Do we see these nails? This makes it difficult to use your finger all over the lid. We're just gonna see what we have to do. I might have to wet the brush to get the intensity that I want, but let's just see. So like I said, trying first on just a dry brush. Okay, it's a little crumbly, it's a little fallouty. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. That looks like crap. That's like not how this shade is supposed to look based off the swatch. I guess the shade doesn't have a ton of a base to it. It's more of a translucent-y glitter shade. So I was expecting more of a background to it. It's still really pretty. It's just not based off what I thought I swatched, what I'm seeing. Like I may have rather put something down on the lid first, like a more burgundy shade, and then put this on top, like patted this on top. Based off of the swatch, I was thinking I would see a little bit more of that, like, I guess like bronzy-ish backdrop to it. Like I said, it's still pretty. It just, to me, looks a little bit more like a topper shade versus like something that would go by itself all over the lid, depending on what look you want, obviously. This probably would look really nice with a glitter glue. So I wet my brush a little bit. Okay, let's move on. I am going to go in with this shade called Crazy, which is one of the pressed pigments, so I'm nervous. But I'm gonna use a smaller brush and I'm gonna use this for the outer corner. Okay, so I literally tapped in one time. That shade is really nice. On this big fluffy brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Grateful again. I just wanna do like a little tap and go above the crease so that we don't lose some of that oranginess that I liked at the beginning. Okay, I think I do want to do a little bit of liner on the top, so I'm probably just gonna use like this stupid brown eyeliner from MAC. It's not stupid, I actually like it, but it's like almost out. This is in the shade Coffee. I'm just gonna do this on my upper lash line and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so here we have the eyes and we're about to do the lower lash line. And I did go ahead and put some lashes on. I really like just Ardell Demi Wispies most of the time, so that's what I'm wearing. And I think it adds a lot to the look. I love it so far. I really like how this has turned out. And let's go ahead and, like I said, do the lower lashes. I actually think I'm going to start with this shade Next. And what I think I want to do next is go in with Grateful, this more like orangey shade right here, and just take a little bit of a bigger brush and go a little bit underneath of that. Just for a little bit more definition, especially on this outer corner, I am going to take this deep, deep color here that is called Crazy. And that's the one that we put on our outer corner. So I'm just gonna bring it down along here on an itty bitty brush. Using this almost like it's a liner. You could add a black or brown liner in the waterline, and if it was nighttime right now, I would probably do that, but since it is still middle of the afternoon, I'm just going to add mascara. And the last thing that I want to do is highlight my inner corner and maybe my brow bone, and I am going to try that shade I'm In It that has a little bit of like an iridescence to it. Just taking that on a little pencil brush and just dry. Let's see what we can get here. Okay, so that's just dry. Honestly, I'm not that excited by that. I mean, it's like a very subtle iridescent look. I'm going to try wetting my brush and see if I can get something more out of it. I mean, it's not ugly, it's just not impressive. When I swatched it, it did feel kind of like a drier shade. So maybe that's what the problem is. Maybe it's just the color on me. I just thought that I'd be more impressed with that, but let's see what we can do when we wet the brush. Okay, that definitely shows up a little bit more and it looks more like a pop of something and not just blending in with my skin. So I'm not mad, I'm just, I guess, disappointed as far as how it looks in the inner corner, but it's still a pretty shade. It's just maybe not gonna be my favorite one in the palette. Okay guys, and this is the finished look. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I really, really like it. It's not 100% different than any look I've ever done in my life. I probably could have been a little bit more adventurous, but I do like that I didn't just do browns, which is kind of what I thought I was going to do when I started filming this video. I think that even though this incorporates some color, it is very wearable, especially for like a fun night out. I really like it, and I do stand by what I said still. I really like this palette. I'm really excited about it. I just think it's very, very fun, and especially for the price point. So it's 35 shadows for $39, and you can use a discount code on anything Morphe, but also this palette. I did use Jaclyn's code, Jack Attack, for I think it was 15% off or 10% off when I purchased it, and it did bring down the price a little bit, especially with shipping. So I think it was 100% worth it. I'm really, really happy to have it in my collection. I hope that came across in this video. I'm just really, really excited about it, and I hope this video was entertaining at the least, and at most helped you decide whether or not you wanted to pick this up for yourself. I 100% advocate for you picking it up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see future videos from me. I thank you all again, and I do hope to see you in my next one. Bye.